that's essentially what I've been doing in my life. I've been trying my very best to ask as many questions as I possibly can, and from what I've learned, it's all a fiction. But everyone believes in it. This is still worth $1 today. If everybody believes that this is only worth 50 cents tomorrow, it's worth 50 cents, even if I believe it's worth $1. It's subject to the actual times, the actual people involved in the collective.
Max, tell us a little bit about your organization. What is it that you're doing with Grasshopper Media?
Grasshopper Media is something that I'm in love with. Literally, I really appreciate that I was given the ideas to get involved in this, and then other people showed up. All of this just came together, and basically it's just alternative media, and I've been inspired by many other people whilst on the mission to basically find the truth, if that is possible in this world. Doing a lot of research and putting out as much as I can, and coordinating with many other people. Grasshopper Media is a blog, started as a blog, and there's a YouTube channel also, finditherefirst.ca, and that's the channel also, Find It Here First. And just my own personal process through the 9/11 truth stuff to this stuff, that's what I'm about. As for the collective of the group of us that are working together, we all have many different things that we're working on, but it all coincides with one thing, and that's the truth. As so many of these alternative medias are basically trying to deliver, because we all know the mainstream media is quite controlled and heavily edited. What do we know for sure is what Grasshopper Media is about. What do I know for sure? What do you know for sure? That's actually a phrase that my father used to tell to me when I was a child whenever I had any kind of problem. And it always seemed to solve the problem because I could never answer the question. So Grasshopper Media is about what do you know for sure. And to touch on what you were speaking about earlier there about Admiralty law, and I do know Santos, your usual guest, is somebody who taught me quite a bit about this, and I have a video on my channel about that, actually. When it comes down to Admiralty law, it is my understanding, and I could be wrong. However, I do believe that Admiralty law is like a state law. Okay, it's more like here in Canada, it would be a provincial law. It would be on the provincial level. So much about the courts that lead us to think that it's very occultic, but then gives us a lot of evidence that it's simply Admiralty and that it's running on rules that govern the seas, right? However, when we're dealing in our little towns, when you get a bylaw, that is common law in action. And I've gathered most of this from a lot of the stuff that Santos has put forth with regards to the high-level sorcery that's going on with the superior courts. I think it's just a lower running down of all of that. And like I'm saying about the Land of Oz, it's best to go down that yellow brick road, find the wizard, reveal him so that it's no longer a doubt in your mind. And part of that process may be understanding these different levels of law. And that is my understanding.
You mentioned something very important before. You said we're in this truth movement, right? We're looking for the truth if we can ever find the truth. I mean, don't you think that perhaps we get kind of lost because there's always something new to learn? I mean, there's always, God knows, with these tyrants, they've hidden so much stuff from us, and you know, every day you know, in my case, I just, you know, I'm amazed every day. Every day I learn more crazy stuff, more Land of Oz stuff, you know. And up to what point do we get lost in searching, and we just let our lives just wither away, and we don't focus in the present moment and focus on taking care of ourselves and focus in living a decent life with our family, with our wives, our husbands, whatever? You know, where do we draw the line, in other words, so we don't get too wrapped up in this? I mean, I know friends of mine who sort of just said, you know what, I got to get out of this because my liver is about to collapse. You know, I can't take this, you know, anger. I'm angry at everyone because of all this stuff. So where do you draw the line here, Max?
Where do we draw the line is where we determine each individually, I would say. But where do I draw the line? I haven't been able to find a line yet. I'm just going straight ahead on all this as much as I can. Many people find this place where they just can't go forward. I would have to say that you stop when you get stressed. if you can't laugh about what you're doing, or if you're not having fun, then it's just like I said with the Tin Man. You're working a job that you don't enjoy. You're not going to produce at the end of the day, and the money that you get for it is never enough. So in order to find any satisfaction in anything you do, you have to be able to laugh and have fun and enjoy what you're doing. So I would say for myself personally, I have to draw the line only when it's not funny anymore. But I'm laughing all the time at most of the stuff that I'm hearing, and sometimes it's way up there, and sometimes it's very low common sense stuff. And sometimes the funny bit about it is that nobody else will get it. Nobody else will believe it. But maybe in time they will. Maybe with patience they will. Maybe with understanding. And we can't change our families, that's for sure. We can ask them to accept us. We can ask the greater community to accept us for who we may be. But at what point do the beliefs that you have actually govern who your character, so that people actually determine who you are? I don't think any of us should ever hold on to anything so tight that others might be upset with us for us expressing those sentiments.
The evilness or the occult, sacrificial, call it whatever, witchcraft that goes on. Have you had any personal experience with this, or do you know someone that had any of these experiences with this kind of demons or things like that, Max?
I would have to say this Toto, the hero of our story, is everyone. So at what point do the people that are carrying around demons inside them, or those people who are soulless, which we can all admit that there are those people out there, they are part of this too. As is explained, you can move a mountain if you have a little bit of faith. Just a small little bit of faith. And all it really takes with the attacks that might come and all of this negativity, me personally, I have not had any great attacks on me that I'm aware of. However, I know that there's many people out there that have wanted to if they had the possibility. These things happen because of a common understanding of something perhaps we could call the adversary. Everybody's being adversarial with each other. Nobody wants, at what point does that which looks like magic actually reveal itself in our world, and we can interpret it in no other way? In this instance, I feel that we're all in this together, and it's going to take some patience and some understanding, and a lot of perhaps prayer, maybe, of seeing that these things can change like a mountain could move. These things can change very easily, and perhaps it could be understood that Satan exists only in the hearts of men. And that might be our problem, is the fact that Satan and his many demons that he reveals himself as are existing in the hearts of men. Not here otherwise. Yet we are the ones who have the power to actually tell them where to go.
So what do you think, Max? Are things going to change this year, 2012? We've heard so many things. Our own Santos Bonacci says everything is going to collapse. The system is going to collapse. Those FEMA camps that they're building in the United States and in Canada, they're going to be filled with all the tyrants. We've been hearing a lot of this. I personally think I'm not too sure about that. I think we're starting to wake up. I think more people are conscious of what's going on, the tyranny and the black hand behind the governments and the banking system. But I don't know if it's going to be such a radical change this year in 2012.